What's up, guys? My name is Ariel, and welcome to this new thing that I actually prepared myself. It is called the Bookmark Book Tag. And what it is I started a shop called Band-aid Bookmarks. So far I've only sold one, and I really want to sell more. So I got this idea about doing a bookmark book tag is because when I started my shop, I thought of all the various things as a reader that we use to read books, and I thought it'd be a good thing to, why not do a bookmark book tag. We'll get started with that, and I'll introduce you to what books and everything. There are 13 questions. I had it at 12, but I added 13 just about an hour ago when I actually finished it. I thought, why not for a final question do it that way. I will actually be reading this off my notebook, since I do not memorize it, and it only took me a couple of weeks to write, and the rest of it to write today. So as I scramble with this, and my fan, which is right in front of me, which you might also hear, it's because it's really hot, and fan, no air. What are you gonna expect? So the first one is the receipt. It's the last book that you bought or checked out from the library that possibly has the receipt in it. So the last book that I bought was, well, this was several books ago, but the last one that I remember the receipt being in is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. That is the last one I remember the receipt being in. Next one is notebook paper. You know those bookmarks? Have you ever made a bookmark out of notebook paper? See if I can make one right now. So you just take a regular piece of paper like this. You would fold the ends, especially at the margins, particularly, because it just helps it go that way. And then you fold it in thirds, see, like this. And then you tuck, if I can show you this, you tuck these ends in. God, this paper sucks. And tuck it in. I know this is crappy at the moment, but I'll fix this later. So this is pretty much what it has to do with it, is a book that was pretty plain at the beginning and eventually turned out pretty good at the end. Kind of like how you would do this on a notebook piece of paper and then draw on it. For this some of these books have no covers, so mine being at the moment is The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. And yes, this is one of those stretchy covers on it because I didn't want to damage the book itself. Next is dog-eared or post-it tag. Now, if you dog-eared your books, shame on you. If you use post-its, which is what you normally find in textbooks, as you can see. And for this one, I chose a quote from The Giver, which is, "If you were to be lost in the river, Jonas, your memories would not be lost with you. Memories are forever." So that's a quote that I saved and I really liked from this book. And by the way, this is a signed book signed by Lois Lowry. Next is The Handmade, which is a self-published book that you either liked or didn't like. For this, I am not going to show you the book, but there is a book that I really didn't like that was a self-published book, only because at the place I volunteered at, it got a whole bunch of things wrong, and the place was, I don't want to go so far into it. So I have a book for that. I'm not showing it to you because I just don't want to, and it's the only self-published book that I have. Next is highlighted or underlined books. This can be a book that you might have used as a textbook, but it's not necessarily a textbook, so it can be an anthology, it can be a regular book. It depends on what book it is for you. For this, I have Julio Cortázar's Blow Up and Other Stories, and there is quite a few pages that actually have highlight marks. In fact, the first story has a whole bunch of highlight, and I really like this book because of the way it just... Next is the Pop Culture Bookmark. What I mean by Pop Culture Bookmark is basically ones you would find your, characters from shows and everything like that on it, like Emma Swan and Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and all that stuff. You can choose from TV and film as well. I would really like Jamie Fraser on it. So, I mean, come on, he is gorgeous in the show, and the book is very descriptive of how he looks. Next is the Postcard, which is a good travel book. Since I had the book with me during my road trip home, I chose Passenger because why not? It's about time travel. Next is an old photograph of you. A book that you like so much and you won't like. The book for this one would be Meg Cabot's Meteor series, especially the first book. I loved it because it was one of those books that got me through high school, and it's just, I don't want to get rid of it. I mean, it got me. I mean, if you had a book that got you through high school, hold on to it. Next was the Kleenex tissues. What book was a tearjerker that made you go for a second box? And that would be the last book of the Hunger Games, Mockingjay. Only because, spoiler alert, everybody should know this by now, Prim dies, and a whole bunch of other things go on, and it's just, especially one of my favorite scenes is when she's talking to Prim's cat, and she's yelling that Prim is gone, and it made me cry so much when I read that part. The Flower Press bookmark. You know those when you put flowers into a bookmark sometimes, that's flowers or plants that you put into a book sometimes and you would forget that it's there? That is one of the things that I'm talking about. So, for this, this would be a book with a beautiful cover. I know I obsessed over the cover of this book a few times, so it's going to be Seeker because it's shiny, and you might see it again in another video. The Buck Bookmark. What I mean by the Buck Bookmark is a book that you basically left money in, or just left money in it because that was the only thing you had to use for a bookmark. So this is a book that you may have spent more than you expected to. For this, I chose A Darker Shade of Magic. I really wanted this book so I can finish it, and the reason why I say this is more than I expected is because it cost more than I expected it to. Especially this soft cover. Yeah. Next is the Band-aid Bookmark, which you would probably put in a Band-aid. I don't know why, but people use random things in books. So a book that has a healing, calming effect on you. For this, I chose my all-time favorite, Water for Elephants. The reason why this book is my favorite is because it's just a wonderful story about an elephant and a guy who lost everything and then regains everything, and everything happens. So I find this really calming because the guy, Jacob, at the beginning of it, reminds me of my grandfather, so why not? And last but not least, what is your favorite bookmark out of the collection of the bookmarks that you have? My favorite bookmarks out of all the bookmarks that I have is this Outlander themed bookmark that I actually made, which you can find on my shop at Fandom Bookmarks, and I'll link it down below. It's done in a dotted design. I know you can't see it very well, and the reason is too is because it's been varnished. So yeah. So I hope this tag gets around and everything like that, and I will be checking up on them. And thank you for choosing this chat tag. Well, and anyways, I would like to I would like to tag my friend Vanessa from Paper Fairy, only because I suggested this idea to her, and pretty much I came up with most of the idea that why not we can try to do one together, and I just ended up doing it myself because it just popped in my head and I couldn't resist it. So I hope you enjoyed this book tag, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!